Hello, what have we here?
You're wrong.
Damn! What the hell was that?
Game over, man. Game over.
You're wrong.
You finished?
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Greetings, boys and girls, lemurs and squirrels, and welcome to the Week of Geek for July the 22nd in this foul year of our Lord, 2026, a wholly owned subsidiary of Free Range Idiocy, wherein we present our midweek dose of geekery for you, the people. This week we dive into the results and fallout from Saturday night's main event, real-life Ted Lasso football debuts, and some Marvel scuttlebutt. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the lead editor and chief bottle washer of the Week of Geek. I give you the man they call Tim.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. How are you?
I am doing it just outstanding. Just outstanding.
You know, it's funny. We come in hot into these sessions, and then we have about 30 minutes of catching up and borderline therapy sessions with each other. So when we get on here, we're just like, I need a drink.
Speaking of which, we will get to that in a moment from me. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I am doing well. Hey, this day that our show is being put out to the masses, I will have now made my 51st
That's right.
revolution around the sun. So 51 years young and feeling every bit of it along the way.
Well
day!
then,
good Lord.
allow me to give you this gift here. Everybody sing along with me as we
Oh, we're gonna have a vocal presentation here. All right.
treat you to a nice rendition of the famous rendition of Happy Birthday by Marilyn Monroe to JFK, which made everyone think, oh, dear Lord, something to Happy Birthday.
Oh, this is disturbing.
No, okay, never mind. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Knowing you, I thought you were going to go like the entire way with that. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be uncomfortable.
I was thinking about it, but I don't want to titillate too much. So
oh my.
we try to keep the titillation to a fairly middling level here. I don't want people to start getting the vapors. People are swooning listening to the show.
Oh, they're swooning all right, but not for that reason.
Good point, probably.
Where's the pause button?
I mean, I'm wearing sleeves this week. What do you want from me, people?
Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah, no gun show. I mean, come on now.
Well, it's under 90 degrees here, so
Oh,
the air
good.
quality is fairly decent. Apparently I'm not going to rust my lungs by breathing the air, so that's nice. So
That is in direct opposition to how it is here in Chicago, because let me tell you, we have received a gift from Canada in the
you're in the
form
middle of
of
another-
haze and smoke and
Yeah.
unbreathable air. So, that's
we were
always
there
fun.
about a week and a half ago, and then yesterday was a really bad day, and then today it's not
Yeah.
so bad. But hey, maybe those tariffs will keep the smoke blowing north of the border. I
Because one
maybe
has
some
so much to
gigantic
do with the
fans.
other.
we
You
need some
know what
big
I mean?
fans.
I will say last night, so we were recording this on
The
a
National
Sunday.
Guard deployed to the border, going second wave.
Well, that or just have the whole cabinet go there and just talk, and all that hot air will blow it back.
Maybe
north. So,
you're an idea man. I think I managed to blow
Could you try?
spittle onto my glasses. That's pretty amazing.
I was going to say, so we're recording this on a Sunday night.
Yes.
This is going out on Wednesday night, but last night,
Yes.
so Saturday night, my wife and I were at Ravinia, which will be my and another thing. And I went to take a picture. So we're sitting in the lawn seats of the venue.
You looked like you were sitting at the very back, against the
We were.
parking lot was right in
We
back
were.
of you or something.
In fact, at one point it was dark and someone apparently was leaving and turned their car lights on, and it was just like,
How did you get those seats, sir? Don't they know who you are?
No, we chose.
Oh wait,
those.
I forgot. This wasn't just you by yourself. You would have been front row center. This was you traveling with the family, so it's like economy for everybody.
Not at all. No. We were there for the show. We were there to just hear the music. We didn't care about seeing the screen and all the niceties that go with that. This was a very relaxed visit.
You could, if you could have stayed home and listened to it on Apple Music.
Well, yeah, I could have, but I didn't. So
People like, oh, did you get to see Paul Simon? Not really. We were behind a tree, but sounded quite lovely.
I actually was. My lovely wife was able to see the screen. She saw Paul Simon. She saw Edie Brickell, the whole band. I was able to step out at one point. The people sitting to the right of us had apparently walked off and gone because the way the venue is set up, you can walk up to the pavilion and look in, to the live performance if you so choose to do that. Being the plebeians that we are, sitting on the lawn seats. And so I was able to kind of scooch over a little and see the screen and see some of what was going on. I was happy just to sit and listen to the music, my man. I very chill, very chill. I understand why you attribute me to wanting the best. In this case, it was good enough just to sit back, relax, and enjoy. So
because you cheap it out because someone else was there. If it was you, you were like, I'm a captain of industry. Bring me my deviled eggs and my first row seat.
Do you know who I am?
Meanwhile, you're sitting back by a shrub because you're like, well, I'm going to save a couple bucks.
I did start some
at one
notes,
point
though.
you're like digging into it. You're like, I think I can see an ear.
Basically.
Your wife is like, this is so romantic. The diesel fumes don't affect it at all. Is that Paul Simon's bus behind us?
Quite possibly. I basically what was I going to say there?
I have no idea.
No, I like during our time there though, I started to jot some notes down in Google Keep that I think I'm going to turn into a bit of a rant for
What
Week
is
in Geek.
Google Keep?
It's like a note-taking program. So it's like Apple Notes, or I don't know, Microsoft has one.
Interesting.
But I had some observations from our time and our experience last night, and I don't know. I'm going to try my hand at writing up a little bit of a bit. I might run it past you and get your editorial comments before putting it out on the show. But it's people are going to this venue is a wonderful time to observe people and see how insane some people can really get.
Might I suggest that it has something to do with the fact that you're in the section? It looked like I got to tell you, like, if there's a way that you can maybe blur your wife's face or something so that she isn't shamed by the fact that she's associated in any way with this show. It really looked like you were like you cropped out like a dumpster and the crackheads off to one side.
Okay,
like
I think you're overstating it a little bit. I mean, it was like some trees and a fence behind us. Come on now.
It looked like the most unkempt. It looked like you were in a vacant lot. I was like, what the hell is going on? I thought that was like waiting in the line. Like I didn't realize those were your seats.
Yes, that was where we were sitting. We're on the lawn. We had trees behind us. That's normal. There's a fence.
I gotta tell you, I am so glad.
The property
I am
lines.
so glad that I was in charge of buying the seats for Elimination Chamber. We would have been sitting outside in the friggin' parking lot with a 13-inch black and white TV, shivering our ass off. Isn't this great? So glad I was the one buying the seats. So glad. If it was just you, you would have had a friggin' box. They would have been bringing the deviled eggs and wine and whatnot to you the entire time.
The part that blows my mind is just the way people are with claiming their space. Like when we sat down, we put our blanket out. I left we have a wagon to carry our cooler and everything. I put that in front of our blanket so we at least had a little bit of space in front of us, and someone didn't drop, because that's what will happen. People will just literally drop in like right next to you. So we had chairs on either side of us. We had a wagon in front of us, and then behind us there really wasn't anywhere to sit because we were right up on the
right up in
line.
The buffer brush. Right there, the tree line. For God's sake,
that's right. We were right there on the shrubbery line.
You might have a wombat come out of there. Freaking possum dangle down and start nipping at your ears in the mid-performance.
So we had basically, things kind of we had a buffer around us, so we didn't have the peoples right on top of us. And yet people get there
Unwashed masses.
and they drop their crap like still like right on top of our wagon, like right next to the and I'm sitting here, and at one point this lady has this like dessert tray or like this what do you call it, a Rubbermaid, like a Rubbermaid thing of desserts, and she puts it in our wagon. And I'm looking at her and I'm just like, hi. And she's like, hi. And I'm like, not your wagon. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Like, I'm at a point at this phase of my life where I don't care if I'm being the jerk. I'm just kind of like, we're here. What are you doing?
What he's leaving out is the fact that it just wasn't a dessert that he liked. If it had been like cheesecake, he'd be like, no, you can leave that there.
Oh my God.
The lady would have been like, where'd our cheesecake go?
Well,
my wagon.
And then I made the mistake of, so when I put my chair down, which was to the right of our blanket, like at the venue, they have, of course, these stands that are up where they, take the lines across so they can, demarcate the lines and keep everyone, where they need to be. And for some reason in this lawn area, they just had 4 of them just sitting there. So I basically just kind of moved them so I could get my chair in there. And I thought I had them like not right on top of me, but at least close enough that people wouldn't walk past me. Guess what people decided to do? There was enough room there that I had everyone's ass right in front of my face as they walked by, which I'm just looking like, I look at Rachel, my wife, I'm just like, what the heck is going on? It's like, there's barely any room to walk.
So I love the fact that the way this concert seemed to you was like, oh, look, Paul Simon, booty, tree, shrub. Paul Simon, booty, tree, shrub, booty, 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 tree, shrub, booty. Oh, a little bit of Paul Simon, tree, booty, tree. Paul Simon's ear, booty, tree. Ah!
I love how you're obsessed with Paul Simon's ear.
Like, 3/4 of the way to the like, I'm gonna have to leave. I think I'm having an epileptic fit. I feel like I'm about ready to, I might swallow my tongue. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Or I might have poison ivy from the tree line. I don't know. I'm pretty sure a possum crawled down the back of my pants as well. That was the most pleasant part of it. I'm going to name him Al after the. How old is Paul Simon these days?
84.
Yeah.
So you
can call him Al. You just have to yell it really loud.
And I meant to look this up just to confirm because I checked last night. Let me just check real quick.
And is he married to Edie Brickell? Is that
yes.
the deal? Okay.
Yep.
I forgot how that works because I lose track of my musicians who are married to other musicians flowchart every so often.
So he's not as bad as Huey Lewis, but he apparently has lost most of his hearing in his left ear. And the reason I looked that up last night was because my wife and I were talking about, well, what do we think the opening song would be? And I'm like, oh, Call Me Al, or oh, Mrs. Robinson, or I'm thinking it had to have something with energy, right? You want to start off hot, right? You're in a band. You guys start with something that brings the energy. Am I wrong? I'm
also at 84. Like, he needs to warm up and remember where he is.
Well, so what I read was he no longer can perform You Can Call Me Al, as well as some other songs because of the hearing loss that he has, because he can't find, where he needs to go. And so a lot of his live performances are mostly like acoustic songs that still have band instrumentation, but it's just not as intense, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, there's some songs that he can still lock into and he sounded good, but like when Paul McCartney was on Saturday Night Live a couple months ago, and Paul Simon also kind of exhibited this, the voice is not where it used to be. He just kind of keeps things at a regular octave and doesn't, like he sang some of his hits and he just wasn't, kind of going up the way he used to. But it was still good. It was, I still enjoyed it. It was very well done. He did stuff off of Graceland. And I'm trying to think what are some of I'm not as familiar with his albums. I'll go through the songs in the end, another thing. But no, he did a great job. I really enjoyed it. It was great to hear him perform. And, I'd never heard him perform live, so I got to do that. And again, one of those guys, kind of the theme this weekend is, I guess, watching acts that I don't know if I'm going to see again at some point. So
the time is a ticking on some of these acts, for sure.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, Monday night, will be the Rush concert here in Chicago at the United Center. So I'm geared up for that. Everything I've been reading, I haven't read because I have to get a subscription to the Tribune and everything to read it. But everything I'm reading for reviews of at least the first 2 shows have just been, overly positive, effusive praise, really good. So I'm excited. So
now, do you know if they're changing up their set list, or are they pretty much locked into one set list from?
That is a good question. I don't know. I haven't looked it up yet. I think they are locked into a set list, but it could be that they do a bit of a rotation. They're doing like 4 dates here in Chicago. They had a Thursday and a Friday night show, and then Saturday, Sunday they've been off, and then Monday and I think Wednesday they're performing. So yeah, so I'm not sure. I need to look it up. I did find a set list for Paul Simon. He was definitely working off of the same set list. So I need to see if there's like multiple nights or not. But
interesting.
From what I've seen, they're going to run through some of 2112. They're going to go through Moving Pictures. They're going to go. I mean, they're just hitting all the good stuff. And woven throughout, I guess, is just kind of a celebration of Neil Peart's life. So I thought that was well done. So we'll see how it all comes together, what it looks like. But
very nice.
But yes, so that's a little bit of what's happening in the life of the man they called him.
Excellent. Well, if you might notice, I did add a new item to the top of our program here.
Okay.
Because I had mentioned to you that I had purchased something last week, and you had said, "Oh, be sure to let me know how it goes when you have it." And I just have not had a chance this week to have it, so I feel like the top of the show, when it would be the best time to try this, when my palate is unencumbered by other tastes, except for my seltzer, which has a vague flavor. But let's be honest, seltzer really does not have that strong of a flavor.
The bubbly.
So a bit of bubbly. I am going to try this.
Oh yes, PB&J mixtape. Yeah, you showed me that. Last week.
Yeah. So this is by Zool Beer Company. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's an XUL.
There is no Dana, only Zool. What?
I don't know. So it's XUL, but the U has like an umlaut over it. So I don't know. I don't really know how that pronunciates.
Nice.
But this is where is the brewery here? This is brewed by Zool Beer, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice.
Oh boy, this is 6.5%. Oh boy. So yeah, this is a gluten-free sour ale. And because it actually has on the front that it contains peanuts, this is going to be basically peanut butter and jelly. I really don't know about this because I am not a sour fan.
Yeah.
I managed to kind of go through the first kind of coming of microbrews back in like the 90s, and we would get like Pete's Wicked Ale. Sam Adams started out as a microbrew. What was some of the others? That was when Sierra Nevada had just come out. Stuff like that.
Yep.
And that was kind of so I kind of was able to enjoy that. And then this second wave, or maybe we're in the third wave, I don't know. I've not managed to enjoy because I have celiac. However, oh dear God, this looks like friggin' grape juice. Oh, I might have.
Hold it up. Let's see.
I might have made a real bad decision here.
Let's see.
Oh God, it smells like it too. Oh boy,
smells like grape juice.
See?
All I gotta say is you're gonna drink that, but you won't drink Malort's. I'm telling you, it's a travesty.
I don't know that I'm going to drink all of this. I might bail on this after a sip.
You are committed. You have poured the glass. You now must consume what contains therein.
It actually does smell like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh my God.
All right. Hashtag pray for Todd.
Okay, here we go.
Here's
Bottoms
an
up.
old address.
Bottoms up. Let's see. Let's see if he makes the face. Well, he's not wincing. You got a facial tick? He's blinking.
That is kind of weird. Like it legit tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That is
like
funny.
It's very jelly in the front.
Yep.
And then the after taste is really where the peanut butter comes.
Has a peanut sort of flavor to it.
I
Interesting.
definitely would not want to drink more. I might not even finish this one.
Oh no, you're committed. Come on.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to chug this thing. Why don't you relax? Why don't you just calm yourself down?
I'm just, I'm trying to encourage you here, my friend. That's all. Trying to encourage you in your adventuring in the realm of beverages.
That is weird. Oh my gosh. And the thing is, it's not even really sour. It's actually more sweet than anything. All right.
Nice.
Well, I mean, so far, so good, I guess. We'll see how that goes.
I think it's a success, if only because you didn't make the twitchy sour face. You weren't like the bitter face. It wasn't that. You are not. You didn't spit it out. That's a good thing. And there's no facial tics going on. There's no any random yelling like that or anything like that. You're enjoying it.
The fracking peanut butter aftertaste is just freaking me out, though. It really is. It's like all of a sudden, it's like there's a gob of peanut butter after you swallow the beer.
That sounds absolutely lovely. To be honest, I mean that sounds wonderful.
But my problem is I do not love sweet alcohol beverages, and even sweet beverages now.
You were not a fan of the Sam Adams cherry wheat, as I recall, because that had a sweet cherry flavor to it. So.
No, even tonight. So we went out to dinner before the show, long before the show, and I was really hoping to have a gluten-free beer because I was going to have a burger, and unfortunately, no gluten-free beer on the menu, and I was just like, just get me an Arnold Palmer, and the way that works out for me well is because I even like lemonade is just too sweet for me.
Mm-hmm.
But most places don't have sweet tea north of the Mason-Dixon here. So it's unsweetened tea with half lemonade is just the perfect level of sweetness. Now, ice cream and cookies and all that, believe me, I love sweet stuff. But for some reason, I've just gotten to this point where drinking soda or even having a whiskey and Coke or rum and Coke or something like that, not interested. So this is it's funny. I was expecting really sour. Now I'm just it's a little too sweet.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah. Well, good you tried it, and good you're continuing to wolf it down. Good stuff.
I got to rinse this glass thoroughly before my next beer because I don't want this to carry forward.
Just real quick.
Yes.
Completely unrelated to your drink. This breaking news. I think the Crown Jewel belt just came down in price. It's roughly around $2,000. So down from 22.
Is that all? Well,
let me buy a midsection shield that you can wear and impress your neighbors with.
You know what? You ought to get that.
No, I'm working on getting the World Heavyweight Championship so I can put my CM Punk plates on it.
I think that you need to get the World Heavyweight Championship and the United States Championship because you have
the Trick Willie version with all the shag on it.
No, hell no. Be like the amps from Ray's Music Exchange.
That's right.
Which honestly, if I could find that bass amp, you best believe I'm buying that. Oh my gosh, yes. Be all over that like a hobo on a ham sandwich. Are you kidding me?
There you go. Very nice. Very nice.
Or a PB&J sandwich.
And speaking of belts, again, not to take away from your beverage here. Look at you.
Look at the color of that.
It's a disturbing color. It looks like a glass of grape jelly is what it looks like.
Or prune juice or something.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't function like prune juice.
I do want to mention to our listeners
real quick break here. But
it is 1 year with the Winged Eagle belt. And the World Heavyweight Championship.
You're seriously celebrating anniversaries?
I am. Those represent two of the best purchases I think I've ever made. So, and for cheap too. I didn't pay full price for those things. I paid discounted rate.
Sir, I'm not saying this because I love you, but
I do, and I know you love.
If you weren't married and you were boasting about that, I would be like, the chances of him ever getting married are slim and none. And Slim just walked out of town. Good thing you nailed that one down before you started collecting wrestling belts.
Indeed.
Because I think if she's shown up for the first date and you
it's
had
all
those
just
in your mantle,
I am the Christmas tree. They are but the ornaments to hang off said tree.
And a pine cone for a brain. All right, where are we going for the? Where are we going here, sir? We've spent 20 minutes recording, and
Mr. PB and J. Mr. PB and J. We have two articles or 2 points of news we'll talk about. Then we're going to get into the meat here, which is Saturday night's main event, which aired. Again, we're recording on a Sunday night last night, so probably about 3-4 days before this episode airs. But article I found from our friends at CBR.com by way of Patrick, and it's spelled Patrik Walker. He's thinking. I love that this is a gimmick now. The AI sniff dog.
Nope, that's AI. That's AI.
There's a picture
Patrick
of him.
Walker. You can generate anything with AI. I generated this beer with AI.
Okay, you're saying that is the first AI brewed beer, and you are sampling. Okay,
you have no idea. I had to actually drain a lake to make this.
It's not Sebago, is it? It's a vacation destination for some people. Oh dear Lord. But this article was interesting. John Bernthal, who of course has played the Punisher time and time and time again, will do so when Spider-Man was it Brand New Day, I think? Yeah, Brand New Day comes out. Will be partaking or participating in said motion picture. But talks about why he kind of breaks the silence on why he exited Daredevil Born Again. I have not watched Daredevil Born Again. I know it's there. I have not, had the time to.
Season 1 was kick ass. I have not seen season 2.
I've heard very good things about it. I've heard it's a very, very well done show. But really, all that this kind of boils down to is he had a bit of a Frank Castle, the character he plays, the Punisher, had a role, had a part in season 1. But he did not show up in season 2, nor will he be in any future seasons. And apparently it comes down to creative differences, which if you go back to the days of Hulk Hogan, creative differences or creative control was kind of his MO. So I'm not saying John Bernthal is Hulk Hogan, but I'm just saying, Apple doesn't fall far from the tree in a way. So
what were the differences in that we speak of here?
Let's see. Basically, he explains. He was far from pleased with the direction the showrunners wanted to take. I didn't like what they had for Frank at all. Ultimately, they gave me something that they let me rework and rewrite, and they aired that. It worked for them. But overall, he doesn't. I don't know if he gets into detail here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else because it kind of talks about. It starts talking about Spider-Man in this as well. He talks about Frank is purpose-driven, mission-driven, leave me the F alone, and I love when there are little cracks in that. Frank plays an unusual mentor role. Oh, he's talking about Spider-Man here by recognizing Peter's warped state of mind. And so he's kind of talking about the relationship there, and that's about it. So he doesn't get into, it sounds like he doesn't get into the details of it. He just says that he just didn't see eye to eye with the showrunners, but they gave him the creative freedom to kind of, I guess, rewrite some things about his character that ended up being what you saw in the show. Mm-hmm. And so I guess the way to look at it is if you watch season 1 and see him in it, he has a lot of input into what you see there. But I think because of that experience, both parties decided it was best to just part ways at that point and not have him continue to have a presence in the later seasons that happen. So the article goes on to say it's surprising to hear because seeing as the Punisher was brought back in his same brutal, visceral form that required Matthew Murdock to try his best at keeping a leash on him, albeit unsuccessfully. Nonetheless, whatever was to occur with Frank Castle before Bernthal stood his ground and was allowed to rewrite, it was enough for him to wave goodbye to Daredevil Born Again. But it seems like coming up in Spider-Man, he seems to be much happier with kind of his creative direction there, and was kind of going into, he was going into a little detail on what he's doing in Spider. Yeah, to see himself to see Frank Castle in this role, being kind of a mentor to Peter Parker, be a little bit protective, help steer him a bit as he kind of goes a little dark, I guess. So, Let's see. Yeah, so it seems like it did not sour, Marvel's as a whole as a brand. It did not sour having John Bernthal playing the Punisher. It's not
Mhm.
like because of these differences they wanted to work with someone else. It just sounds like having him fit into the Daredevil world was just maybe not meant to be. Now, have you seen season 1? Can you speak to any of this? Because I have not seen season 1, so I cannot.
It's been a while, but I do remember like when Frank shows up, like it does. The show already is getting to kind of a dark place. Like that show,
Yeah.
the show opens and immediately starts heading to a dark place, and it really is the rise of Kingpin in New York, as the mayor of New York, and what that entails, and at the end of season 1 when you have Punisher show up, like it is kind of like, oh shit, gonna get serious now. And in a way, like it seems counterintuitive to hear him talk about, in such glowing terms about being in Spider-Man, a PG-13 movie, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
I doubt they're venturing into R for the next Spider-Man flick. And it really is like, how is the Punisher even going to function in a PG-13 movie? Because that was part of the thing that John Bernthal had said was he would not come back to play the Punisher unless Marvel was like going to do the Punisher right.
Mhm.
Essentially, almost like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool. Like, we're not going to do this half-assed. We're not going to do another, Deadpool in Wolverine Origins or whatever movie it was, and just do the character dirty. Like the character has to be who the character is.
Mhm.
And Punisher is very much an R-rated character. Punisher don't give a rip,
Mhm.
and has a horrific backstory, and then therefore a horrific motivation, and cares very little if he makes it out of situations. So, but it kind of makes a little bit of sense when you consider like him being in a mentor role of
Mhm.
the kid and things like that, like because there is that protectiveness in Frank Castle. Losing his family does at times lead him to want to protect others.
Yeah.
I can see why there would be difference in Daredevil, because where that kind of season arc was going, it was going to a very dark place. So if they're kind of like, oh no, Punisher is just going to be kind of Punisher light, it's like, why would the most badass character that you could possibly throw out there, show up and be anything but everything that he is? Like, you're already in this place. Like, if this is where we're at, let's go. Let's
Mhm.
put it in fifth gear. So I kind of understand that. And I wonder how much of it is John's choice and how much of it was the showrunners on Daredevil going, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can rework this without having to go through that again. Like
Yeah.
they have their own ideas, and they're like, we're good. And probably works out well. And I think Marvel at this point is quite content to use Punisher intermittently. I mean, they gave him his kind of one shot on Disney Plus, which I'm only about halfway through, but oh my gosh, it's like, oh, you want Frank to be violent? Well, we can do that.
Mhm.
Because holy crap, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the oh my gosh, Carl Urban Dread level of like violence.
Mhm.
So it all kind of makes sense to me. It's a bummer. I haven't seen season 2. I need to get around to it. But I could see that. I could see that being a mutual parting of the ways, and maybe it's a little more mutual on the side of the showrunners who are just like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can work without Punisher. It's good. So yeah, kind of makes sense. It's a bummer, but I feel those characters played well together, and of course that's where we got Punisher. Frank Castle introduced was in the old Daredevil shows.
Was that where he debuted?
That's where John Barenthal started playing Punisher, was in the Netflix Daredevil shows.
Okay.
And so that was kind of the big thing of like, because then he had his own 2 seasons, and so Daredevil Born Again was like the debut of Punisher into the current MCU.
Mm.
He was one of, along with the the dude who plays Matt Murdock, like they both got to reprise their roles from the the OG Netflix series, which was kind of a thing that didn't seem like it was ever going to happen.
Yeah.
And now I think they're bringing back the actress who played Jessica Jones. They're starting to incorporate some more of those folks into the actual MCU instead of whatever B team that was. It doesn't get officially recognized, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, cool. I mean, hey, whatever. I don't think they're ever really going to make a Punisher movie, so I think this is just fine.
Yeah. Nice. Well, and I guess since I haven't seen it and can speak to it that way, I think what I found interesting was the level of trust that must be there to have him rewrite some things and then to go ahead and bring them in. Like it's not like I joked about Hogan, for example, and that I bring that up because a lot of times when he leveraged his creative control, it was of course to better his situation and to keep him in the spotlight as the champ, all of the things that kind of, bled over from the old school into the new school, which was, the old timers trying to hang on to their last little bit of glory, right?
Got to protect the spot, man.
Got to protect the spot. But, again, having not seen it, it doesn't sound like what he was trying to do was, put over, Frank or whatnot. I think it was probably he had a vision for the character.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't feel like they were really delivering on that vision, and he brought that vision into the show, but apparently it was enough that they kept it, right? I mean, the fact they let that stuff air.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing too is like
germane, at least to the story they were trying to tell in season one.
Germans ain't got nothing to do with it. I think that
son of a bitch.
In a way, it makes sense now that I'm kind of putting the pieces together. Like this was the first time you see Frank Castle in the MCU proper, because like I said, there's been a lot of kind of whether those shows really count towards the MCU or not.
Mm-hmm.
And this being kind of his first intro into this, it makes sense that there'll be a lot of like, no, I don't want to half-ass this.
Yeah.
If this is what it's going to be, and otherwise I'll just walk. I don't need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also probably a little bit of that trust as well. Like, okay, well, the dude's played this character in 2 seasons of a show, as well as some episodes of the previous Daredevil. He really does have the tenure for this, because you have is Dolph Lundgren? Did he play the Punisher in a movie? But there was two Punisher movies.
No, Thomas. Oh, what the hell's his name?
Oh yeah. But there was 2 Punisher movies, different cats, and then I think there was actually another. There might have been a TV movie. I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. You are right. Dolph Lundgren played the Punisher in 1989, and then Thomas Jane played the Punisher in 2004. Ray Stevenson of Ahsoka,
really,
who has since passed, played the Punisher Warzone in 2008. Starred him, and then John Bernthal, who has basically picked up the mantle as part of the MCU. Was
so in terms of like sheer screen time, like John's got the edge here. Like he has played the character the most recent and the most thoroughly. And
by the way, a phenomenal choice, because if you ever watch season 1 of The Walking Dead, you will understand, like, when I saw John Bernthal, not that I thought the Punisher, but when I heard that he was going to be the Punisher, I'm like, that makes a ton of sense right there.
Yes.
Because you see him in seasons 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead, and you're like, yep, that's Frank Castle right there. I mean, so again, not that he's playing the Punisher in that show, but there's just those elements of that character that are in the character of Shane that he plays, where you're like, yep, psycho dude. Okay.
He does rage really well.
Oh yes. Oh, and it's the psychology. He like, one of the beautiful things about the way he played that character in The Walking Dead was he and Rick, who is the main character, so protagonist and antagonist, they are like the classic babyface heel wrestling sort of thing. Like, they know how to play the crowd in terms of, like Shane was doing the most vile of crap behind his best friend's back.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to see him get his at some point, and he just keeps living and living and living, and then something finally breaks, and then crap hits the fan, and it's really well done. So all that to say, phenomenal actor, phenomenal character that he played, and love that he's in this role because he is a great match for this, given how he plays his characters.
Yep. No, so it makes sense, but at the same time, good that they can kind of be adults and kind of just move on. And just glad to have the Punisher and John Barenthal's Punisher in the MCU, because his character is a wonderful asset.
Yes,
because it is a person who is in many ways uncompromising, but with a strong moral ethic code.
Yeah,
that unfortunately can just lead to some really extreme places.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Before we jump on to the next item and then get into some wrestling action, I don't have it linked here, but I did read a blurb around oh my God, my brain's not working. Who played Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, thank you. I read an article that he gave an interview where he said he regrets, and I don't know if this is true or not, but he basically regrets when Logan came out, saying that this is it for him playing Wolverine. And he says that because he says it was the next day. Who knows if it was the next day or the next week or whatever. But not too long after Logan came out, Deadpool comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, as soon as I watched Deadpool, I realized I should not have made that statement, which I thought was really funny.
But at the same time, it worked so well because it allowed Ryan Reynolds to work that gimmick to the point where then by the time it actually happened and they were announcing that it was going to happen, people were in a frenzy because they're like, okay, now we've had 2 Deadpool movies and now we're going to get the third one, and holy shit, it's Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Worked out really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can understand, of course, why Hugh Jackman was at the point of saying that, because you do enough of these movies, you have to get into Wolverine shape, the physicality of it all. He's, you're not a young man anymore, kind of like with Daniel Craig getting to the end of his James Bond run. Like, you think about it and you're like, oh my gosh, he's been playing this character for an awfully long time. That's a long time to do that. And also a long time when you think of like a decade of aging. And like, do I really want to continue to like kind of get beat up with doing even the minimal stunts that I have to do? Like, I don't know about this, Yeah. So I can get it from that standpoint, but then I can also see him being like, that would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so much fun to be in one of those movies. And then of course being like, and I get to wear like the actual like Wolverine costume and kind of do like in a moment where it's like, we're going to do it right. Like, that is kind of cool. Come on. Yeah. And the way that they finally did that, when they finally had him bring the cowl up, I was like, I did. It was a good thing I was sitting down because I did swoon. I was like, oh, in the theater.
Uncle Todd felt the vapors.
I did. I was, and I was not the only one. I literally think some guy was like, oh dear God. His voice got all high and everything. Like comic book guys, just in the whole room were just like, ah. It was almost like it was literally like the moment earlier in the movie when Deadpool was talking about, he's gonna say it, and instead of Avengers Assemble, we get Flame On. He's like, what? Except we actually got the moment. So good.
That was great. All right, we're going to shift away from Marvel into a little more realness. Look at you pounding down the PB&J. My God, I don't know if I'm going to drink this. You're three quarters down there, sir. Very nice.
It's also 6.5%, so maybe that's affecting it.
But Ted Lasso star. This is very, again, germane to what we're talking about in Free Range Idiocy Friday, since we're going to be reviewing season 3 of Ted Lasso. But Ted Lasso star Cristo Fernandez, who plays Football is Life, Danny Rojas.
No, Danny Rojas.
in the Apple TV Plus Deuce series, made his professional soccer debut in the U.S. over the weekend. This is from, I am not on Threads. I need to get on Threads. Basically, Fernandez made his debut for El Paso Locomotive FC in the team's match against New Mexico United in El Paso, Texas, 1 week ago on Saturday. So that would be what? Saturday, it would be let me see.
Last week.
The 11th, July 11th. Fernandez, 35, joined the team after completing what the club described as an extensive 2-month trial. So very cool. Very cool to see art imitating life, or life becoming real from art.
Well, he was a professional or semi-professional footballer before the show. Like, that's part of the
Was
reason
he?
he got cast. I believe so.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not like he was an actor and he was at least a semi-pro at some point, at some level. Now, of course, like there's football, like literally, you can be a professional basketball player and play in like the Serbian, national league or whatever, and you're technically a professional, but it's different than the NBA. So it's not like he's playing in the Premier League, but still doing a hell of a lot more than we are. So congratulations.
Indeed. So I thought that was an interesting little footnote that happened about a week ago, but wanted to bring it up because we are talking Ted Lasso and football is life. And
it is.
Clearly it is, not only on screen, but now in the life of Cristo Fernandez. So very, very nice.
Indeed.
All right, now we get into the meat of things, and we'll try to run through this quickly because, quite honestly, this was I don't know what your thoughts were, sir, but this was kind of a ho-hum event.
I love how you say we're going to run through this quickly, and it'll be an hour and a half from now.
No, I say we're going to run through it quickly, and you hear, okay, now I'm going to drag this sun gun out because I want to make it wrong. I'm going to make it wrong.
Oh my gosh, I'm just going to finish up my jelly beer.
Yeah,
here.
please finish up your PB&J. I would hate for you to.
It's like Jellystone National Park. Hey, boo-boo.
Hey, boo-boo-boo.
Would you look at these beers that they got in here? In the picnic baskets.
But I kind of sped watch this. Literally, I try to compress a 2-hour event into like an hour.
Music behind it.
Oh my God. I was hitting the fast forward button through all of just the crap. It's just like I'm just getting through it to get to the matches.
I actually thought this was a decent show. There was a bunch of
I will say
happening,
the thing that I really appreciate about what they're doing now is a lot of the in-between segments they do. Now they did a goofy one for Danhausen called The Curse Father, which I thought was brilliant. I thought that was hysterical.
So my wife actually came into the room and sat down.
Oh God.
Just as that was happening, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, I was like, "It's funny," and you know what? The dude's over. Like,
I would have said, "Why do you always come in when we get to the batch spit crazy stuff?" It's like, and it's not like the athletic. Okay, this seems
either
like
that
a
or
real
Oba's
fight
entrance.
sort of thing.
Like those are the two times when she comes in. And then she does love Oba's entrance.
How can you not?
She hasn't quite got the rhythm of it yet, but we're working on it.
But like I really appreciate the sports like presentation they've gotten to. Like there are these clips they do that look at the. Oh my goodness, you have another can of that, sir?
Mm-mm.
Oh no,
we're just going to regular beer after that.
One's enough after the. Oh, there's the facial tick. Oh boy, you got to the bottom, and man, there was something there.
That was like where all the jelly flavoring was hiding.
You get a little peanut butter in there.
I'm okay.
But there were a couple segments that they had where Punk and Rhodes and just the build up to the tag match. I'm kind of in the middle of the segment leading into the Roman Reigns end segment that there was, but just I really like the sports like presentation of it all. It gives it. I don't want to say like a real feel to it, but it just like anytime you can try to make it feel like sports, it just adds an air of legitimacy to it, I think. And that's maybe what I appreciate is like, hey, this feels like it's on the same level as watching World Cup or watching MLB or watching NFL. Like it feels like the product is at the same level as opposed to it being the Carney show where Vince is doing all his wackadoo stuff that he loved to do. Like I feel like, and even like I said with Danhausen, they still found a way to keep it campy and fun, which is what he is. He is kind of that elixir, that breath of fresh air in between the seriousness of everything, to bring some levity in, but yet still treated it in like they don't treat it like sports, but they treat it like the entertainment narrative that it needs to be treated like he is a goofy character, but yet they give it the respect, and they really played up his not influence, but the way he kind of wove himself into the New York Knicks story, which is really kind of just goofy. So anyways, that was just a positive takeaway from this is I very much appreciate that sports presentation and the way it just kind of makes WWE feel like it's kind of at the same level as other major sports.
Right on. I would agree.
Is that what you got from it, or am I just kind of off my nut?
No, I think it. I would agree. I think the presentation has been good. I saw, of course, on Reddit, the dumpster fire of the internet, where there were people who were decrying the kind of the pulling back of the retro elements that were very much present in the first few episodes of Saturday Night's Main Event, which I agree were all really cool. But there's a shelf life. Like, you cannot have that show be just a retro show every single week. No. Like not every single week.
There's a shelf life to it, and quite honestly, their whole deal has moved on from NBC. So whatever nostalgia they were trying to drum up, like, you can only do that for so long, and then you just have it be what it is,
Yeah, and they've kept some things. Like, they don't have the refs in the blue shirt with the bow ties anymore. That's back to normal. They do still have the skinny aisle, which they might not have much longer after a few of the, I believe it was Hayden from Fatal Influence.
I saw them walk through, and they were having to kind of do this a little bit because the arms were reaching out, and it's like, come on, folks, come on.
So the
have
skinny
some
aisle,
respect for yourself.
The skinny aisle might be going away because we can't have nice things because people can't figure out how to not be idiots.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've gone away from a lot of the other elements, which fine. And people were decrying how Jesse Ventura wasn't there, and Jesse was so great and this and that. I'm like, dude, really? Jesse looked like he was one step away from the home. And that, I mean, he did all right a couple of the shows, but he also had some real lowlights and looked like 2 or 3 steps behind everyone else. Like,
well, and then quite honestly, like, in a couple instances was like kind of going against the product in a way. I don't know why I don't know why he was doing that, and you're just sitting there like, Jesse, like, he's the baby face.
Well, here's the thing. Like, that doesn't bother me because that was always Ventura's shit. Well, because he was adhering to his heel commentator character, which
I just remember there was something with Priest and McIntyre where he started going to town on the heel. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you do this in this situation? And it really kind of threw the whole, like, the way they book the match, I get why he would say that, but at the same time, it's like, the guy who's on the mic calling color on the show, you don't want pointing out the logical flaw in your product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it felt very like he was very, to your point, out of touch with what he was seeing. You know what I mean?
Well, that he was just going into business for himself, which again is another thing that's not going to work.
No.
And that translates to any kind of job. Like, they are paying you. If you don't want to, I don't want to. Okay, then don't have the job.
Yeah,
for good or ill.
Yep.
If you want to take a moral stand, go right ahead, and you might be right, but it doesn't mean you get to keep your job. Not all the time, because the world isn't fair. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of people are decrying all that, and to me, it's like, I'm fine. I actually thought the presentation was pretty good until we got to the last segment, and then I'm like, let's take a show that was actually pretty good and just grind it to a halt. Awesome. But no, overall, I was pretty happy with it. And I didn't realize that we had a pre-show where we were going to have oh my gosh, what's going on here?
Trick Williams
against, who was it?
The lemon pepper stepper.
But who did he? It was a luchador.
I need to look it up.
Yeah. But anyways, so I missed out on that. But right at the top of the show, it was kind of nice. We got the women's tag team championship match.
Laredo Kid. Trick Williams fought AAA star Laredo Kid in a non-title match during Countdown to SNME.
Okay, I mean, fine. Running through the matches, like it was nice to actually see, I don't know, the women's tag team championship defended. Because I've been waiting for this. Like I've been waiting for them to find a way to get the belts off of.
Was there any story leading into this though? Like I didn't see any like.
I think
this was just like, hey, Fatal Influence, really good tag team, and hey, we have the champs. We're gonna put them together.
Well, no, I think
there
had been a match with them previously. I think there has been kind of because Fatal Influence has just come up from NXT not that long ago. They are a true team. It is a true stable that has been together since NXT. JC Jane is, again, kind of over already, and it seems like Fatal Influence is kind of over as well. I was just waiting for how long it was going to take them to finally get some women's tag teams so they could get this ad hoc team of Paige and Brie Bella, the belts off of them. Even though, I mean, Paige got a huge ovation when she came out. Brie Bella got a respectable ovation. They went nuts for Paige. I'm like, really? Okay.
You know what's sad is listening to Brie be like, Brie mode, and then she goes and does the kicks, and I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, no one cares.
The thing is, like, I was actually, this match, as far as an opener, was actually really good. I enjoyed this match. Probably because my expectations were fairly low, because I was not a huge fan of Brie and Paige winning the belts. I thought there was at least two other teams in that match back in WrestleMania that were worthy of winning the belts. But hey, I get it. You do it for the nostalgia, but it's weird that I'm thinking like, okay, so we're in freaking July now. So they've held the belts for 3 months. I just didn't see that happening. I was actually really impressed. Like Brie, up until we got the Brie mode moment, which I was like, you just ruined this for me. Brie actually looked pretty good. I felt like her and Paige actually acquitted themselves quite well, especially as women who were from a different era of women's wrestling, and who had both had extensive time off. And the fact is, like, even though, yes, they've been back for what, there's still the idea that, like, you can't just adopt an entirely new persona and moveset and psychology and all of this at a late stage in your career. And both of them are in the late stage of their career. Like, they are on the back nine. Okay. Like, both of them were in the clubhouse before, and now they've managed to whip back around and they're getting another round, another 9 holes in. But I mean, you're not changing everything about who you are. They have adapted quite well to work in the environment of today's, women's wrestling. I was actually really impressed with the match. And I think that Fatal Influence, they looked really good as well. Like I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the psychology of it. Even though the ending felt a little bumpy getting there and was a little kind of like, oh, okay, I guess this is how we end the match. I still was like, okay, it's the right call. Like, these are the up and comers. Give them the belt and now let them add some legitimacy to the women's tag division with an actual tag team, not like two people you smash together, So I think it was the right move. I think it was a pretty damn good match and a really good opener. So, I mean, I was pretty happy with it. How did you feel about it, sir?
Again, my complaint here is just and this could be me and not watching SmackDown enough, and maybe missing, and quite honestly Raw too. I mean, I haven't been able to keep up with both shows because of just my life and everything. So just not a lot of background coming into this, and so I have read about Fatal Influence coming up from NXT, having a pretty strong following. I like the idea of them getting the belts because I do feel like at this stage, Paige and Brie are just kind of treading water at this point. Like, I
Well,
just don't know that
they
anyone
don't.
cares after WrestleMania. You know,
Well,
it's
they
like,
just
yeah,
don't
great.
have any tag teams. That's the thing. Like, there's no
Well,
actual
they
legit tag
yes,
teams to hand the belt off to,
but
unless you
but
want to give it to Nia and Lash Legend, in which.
but to me, there's no story with Paige and Brie other than I mean, it's the same story playing over and over again, which is you guys are the has-beens, the washed-up legends who are holding the belts. We're gonna come after you. I mean, that gets old after a while. It's like start developing a better story. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like start having like real issues between the team, the different team members, as opposed to it just being an age thing or a generational thing.
Yeah.
Like it's just old at this point. And
Mhm.
to be honest, it was a gimmick to move the belts onto them. Probably should have gone to Nia Jax and Lash Legend and let them continue to be, division killers until at some point there's a team that comes in. Now, I feels like Fatal Influence could pull it off because it's more of a numbers game versus them legitimately,
Mhm.
out physically, being outwardly physical with, Lash Legend and Nia Jax because they're so dominant. Have the numbers game, play into it, have them beat them. Like that to me is way more compelling than what we got from Paige and Brie. Paige and Brie was just kind of another victory lap for a couple of legends who came back. What are
Yeah.
they going to do with Paige now? I
Which I
would
mean,
really love to see them like get her into some more of a juicier story. I'd love to see her go maybe toe to toe with Stephanie Vicaire, who I feel like the two characters there are kind of in a similar place.
yeah, that could work.
There's some interesting things they could do with Paige outside of her just being a return, tour sort of thing, which is
Yeah.
what I feel like they're doing with the Bellas are a joke to me. Like they're a complete throwback to their era and giving them their flowers and so forth. Like they don't legitimately compete anymore. And
Mhm.
with this group of women, I just don't see them having a long-term shelf life. I think Paige can kind of hang because she is and has been very much a female wrestler, whereas the Bellas are always been kind of an attraction of sorts.
Mhm.
So that's my kind of take on it. I think it's a good thing to get the tag belts off. I hope they start. I really hope this doesn't go to a place where Nikki comes back and it's like the Bellas versus Paige. It's like let Paige actually go and have a couple of interesting story arcs with some of the current ladies, that
Yeah.
goes beyond age, and generation. That's
I
my
f-
whole thing.
I feel like this has been the story, especially with the women's division, but also with just WWE in general. They've they've had things happen, so they're like, okay, well, we have to pivot to this. So
Yeah.
Seth Rollins gets hurt, we have to pivot to this.
Yep.
Nikki Bella gets hurt, so we have to pivot to this. Okay, great. But then they just kind of go into like a holding pattern, like they have with both women's championship belts, where they finally now Rhea is going to have to relinquish, but they've haven't. They're doing it in a way that I think is actually intriguing, but there's no precedent for it. This should have been established in some way, shape, or form. If you refuse to defend the belt, then you lose it. If you are unable to defend the belt after a certain amount of time, depending on your injury status, then we appoint an interim interim champion, and then you get the first shot back when you come back, if it's within this amount of time or whatever. If there was some sort of mechanism, like, and again, I know maybe this is only me, but I actually like some of this stuff to make sense. But it feels like they just go into a holding pattern where they're like, well, we'll just kind of see what happens. It's like, no, you've got to actually roll with this or move on. Like, I can understand throwing Paige in there and going, this is the perfect chance to get a huge pop for Paige coming back. And then, of course, we'll give them the belts. Fine. Let them hold the belts for like a month. And then Lash and Nia come in. They steamroll them. And maybe you have a little mini feud, but then you just kind of move on. Like, it was just a slap together tag team. Like, it's not the Rock and Sock connection where it's like two of the biggest people on your roster coming together. Like, it's literally someone who came back because her sister came back, and then another person who just happened to be coming in when you needed them. So we're not all attached to it. Don't go into this holding pattern of like, well, we'll just see what happens. Like, holy crap, this is why it gets so stagnant sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, just move on to plan B.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you had to adjust. What's stopping you from adjusting again? So, anyways, But I agree, and I can't remember what I called Fallon, but I called her something else, and it's Fallon Henley. So I think I confused her first name and the last name and created a new name. So, anyways, Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley, just to make sure I'm.
What, Jimmy Fallon? What?
Oh, don't even say Jimmy.
Your
Fallon.
favorite person in the whole wide world, Jimmy Fallon? What?
I cannot stand that chucklehead. Every time I see
Here we
him,
go. Here we go.
You want to talk about one of the most punchable faces in entertainment? Oh dear. Oh.
I'm stoking the fire, and the fire is raging.
Every time, like, he has a guess, and it's like, ha, 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 as overactive laughing. And I'm like, hey, Questlove, can you throw a drumstick at his head, please? Just something. Something.
Next match, sir. Next match.
Yes.
Is it the Curse Father versus the Head Father?
I didn't want to spoil it for you, but I had to tell you when Michael Cole referred to JD McDonough as his head being bison-like.
That was phenomenal. That is a quote of quotes right there, my friend.
And then it led to the speculation of if he shaved his head, would it help Michael?
So Uncle Todd texted me that quote while I'm at the Paul Simon concert. I text him back and say, what we need is JD McDonough shaving his head so we can see just how out of proportion size-wise this head is from the rest of his body. And you, sir, bristled at that very idea because of what that would do to your eye sockets, I think. So.
Well, and the funny thing is, now that I think about it and connecting the dots here, like, you were at Paul Simon. Paul Simon's got a pretty sizable squash too.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm surprised his neck can hold it up at this point. Like, it's rather remarkable. It's a planetoid. It's like Sputnik. Oddly shaped.
Indeed.
But yes, we have the no DQ match between Danhausen and JD McDonough. This was actually not a terrible match. Danhausen is not renowned for his wrestling acumen and technical ability in the squared circle, to say the least. But he acquitted himself quite well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where I think once you get on board,
you're big on the acquitting of things tonight. You're very. I've not heard you use that phrase very often when we talk about wrestling, and so
it's the peanut butter and jelly beer. I think it is
too. It is. You are acquitting yourself well of having consumed said beer,
and I'm hoping that it doesn't quit my intestines too quickly.
Excuse me, I need to run to the bathroom.
Yeah, I need a bucket. I feel like it's his wrestling is hokey. And it is sloppy at times and looks anything but devastating. But at the same time, once you're in on the joke, it all makes sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you realize, gotcha. I know what this is about.
I have to ask you, though.
Yes.
The before entrance promo that happened for JD McDonough, do you think he locked up toward the end of that promo? Because I had to rewind it again, and he's, saying some things to Danhausen, and then he just kind of like stares at the camera and says, like, you're going to be getting it or something like that. And it didn't really play with what he was saying. And I'm like, did we just witness him have a mental lockup on camera? Because he was like, you're going to get it. And then Dom's just like, and then they just get off camera. But it
might have been
like him saying that phrase. And I may have the phrase wrong, had literally nothing to do with what he just said. Keep going. Talk about the match. I'm going to rewind for a minute and just play it back. Because I want to say this, because when I saw this, I'm like, wow. Like, I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Clearly, he's come up through the ranks. Finn Balor is a mentor of his. Guy is like I want to see guys like him become like the next stars. But man, if you're doing that crap, I'm like, oh, you just shot yourself in the foot so bad. You cannot be locking up on camera like that, son.
Well, and here's the thing, like it's live TV, man. Like there's
sure
sometimes stuff happens, and I don't actually recall that, so I don't know what if I'm maybe I locked up. I don't know, but I thought the match was actually good. JD McDonough, man, the more I've seen him in action, like in wrestling action, not promo action.
Okay. Can I jump in?
Yes.
He says no more games, and then just like, you're getting it. I'm like, what? What the hell does that mean? And Dom just kind of looking at him like, yeah, we're gone.
Time to get JD off screen. It's almost like, in Anchorman's like, hey champ, why don't you sit this one out?
Oh my God.
But McDonough, like in the ring,
and Liv Morgan was
so
kind of
good.
like Sensational Sherry, just kind of like consoling him after that. Just like, it's okay. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm sorry, but JD McDonough in the ring. Go ahead.
No, in the ring, he's great. Like the snap suplexes, dude, look fantastic. Like he is one of those guys that, like, if he can manage to get more personality and get himself over as just, which I mean, now they give him his own theme music, because I think before it was just kind of the generic Judgment Day music.
Judgment Day, yeah.
And now he's got like a legit theme of his own, which kind of was somewhat badass. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. And if he can get a personality and a character going beyond just being part of the Judgment Day and being that guy with the gigantic noggin, like, I think that he could do really well, because in the ring he looks fan-friggin-tastic. And he worked with Danhausen really well, I think, and I loved it when we get to the Minihausen thing, and you have Dom and JD working with the little people, and it's just like, and it's kind of a continuation of like how Miz and what's his face there, Toxic.
Oh, Mr. Toxic, Kit Wilson,
how they were working with the Minihausens, like,
yep.
It's almost the way that Tim Curry worked with Michael Caine worked with the Muppets in A Christmas Carol. Like, just treats it as absolutely serious. Like, this is deadly serious. In the meantime, everyone's like, they're like half your size. You're sweeping a leg that is like way up here, stuff like that. But it was kind of the same sort of thing with that, which is great. Of course, then we have, the cloning machine gimmick, which you're like, okay, we have Chekhov's cloning machine at the entrance, so something's going to happen with that. And of course, it's the center for the New York Knicks. I forget what his name is, but apparently he's known as Cat. And we get Cathausen moving slowly to the ring, but at the same time, it was impressive. It was impressive, and the fact that, like, the garden is going banana, as Pat Patterson would say, just added to the atmosphere. It made it.
Can I just say, though, watching, and I don't know why I was honed in on this, but I was watching, first of all, Danhausen selling his ass off.
Yes.
Just phenomenal sell job. Like, he's standing next to the cloning machine, he's holding his back, he's holding his jaw, he's just kind of like, oh, I'm a mess. And then when the center comes out, and he has the center walk the aisle first, and he's kind of he starts walking his like little like Danhausen strut, and then every so often he's like holding his back, he's holding his jaw, and then he starts strutting again, and then it is hysterical. I'm just like, this is why this guy is so freaking over right now. Like, man, what a difference in like 6 months from the time we saw him in February in Chicago. We're like, oh, this is going to end poorly, and he's now like one of the most over guys of the company right now. It's incredible. Yeah. Oh, so funny. And then he gets in, and they get in the ring, and he's just kind of like standing behind him, like, ha, Superman.
Phenomenal. Carl Anthony Towns is the gentleman in question.
Okay.
And
so Cathausen, I get it.
An imposing dude, and played it perfectly. Kept the shades on.
And watching him get in the ring was like, holy crap, this guy is tall. It's like,
the fact that, like, he stepped up onto the apron.
Yeah.
And
that's like Sid Justice style. That's what Sid Justice used to do. Sid Vicious. He used to, grab the ropes and climb up. I'm like, oh, shit. I
saw that, and I'm like, okay. As JR would say, business is about to pick up. And again, played it, face, very stoic. And you could tell, like, at a couple times, like, you could tell he was almost like, okay. And it's like JD and Dom were telling me, okay, now goozle me.
Oh,
So he took direction well. And then the whole celebration afterwards is a little weird. The fact he only got up on the first turnbuckle, because you could tell he's like, I ain't going higher. For a guy who's that tall, he's like, I ain't going that high. That's too high. But it was great. He's doing the big show thing with like putting the one hand up.
I stepped up on turnbuckle, and I felt high.
Oh my gosh, I would have paid my child support, but then I got yeah.
I choke slam a guy through a table, and then
I know why. Because I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high.
See, I know I get Uncle Todd going. There we go.
I was gonna go to work, but then I got high.
Whoa, player.
Exactly. Charles White's like, wait a minute, stole my shtick. Damn. Oh my gosh, it was a good match. I mean, it was a fair match, but it was a Danhausen spectacle match, and that's what it was entertaining, and it was a satisfying ending for everyone. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Nice.
Then actually, you know what? I'm going to take a timeout because I need to go rinse the jelly out of my glass and use the bathroom. So let's.
Uncle Todd needs to take a spatula and scrape the sides of his glass because there's peanut butter, there's jelly. There's
really have a little scrubby up here, but I don't. So we're going to see how well I do with this.
All right.
Pray for me. I'll be right back.
2,000 years later.
All right. Well, okay, so we talked about Danhausen. Why don't we switch over to Lyra Valkyria?
You said it right.
I've always said it right. And then Bailey.
Hey, King Lyra.
Hey,
what
Jordan Grace is going to make her mark at some point.
Jordan.
There it is.
Please don't say my name wrong again. Oh yes, Lyra
Sadly,
Valkyria.
I did see an article about how
Crackhead
creative has nothing for her right now. I'm just like, how on earth is that possible with someone of her caliber and physique and ability, and you can't come up with something for her?
People liked her, like right out the box.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane how they can have someone that talented and somehow not come up with a story for her. You and I literally did it in one episode of this show. We had a freaking bulletproof solid story going with her.
Yep. But
I am going to try to submit a script to them at some point and say, you might want to hire us two chuckleheads. We can take care of business.
You go right there. So Lyra Valkyria, ditching the crackhead chic at least for some genuine ring gear. I did appreciate the new theme.
I loved it.
That was great. The one thing I didn't. Yes,
man, they overdo like the promo. Like she looks like she's like a teenager with an acne problem.
Well, they're almost going for what was her face, Nikki Cross, when she was like doing her psycho thing. I'm like, you're overplaying this, and I don't know who's at fault here, if that's Lyra wanting to play it that way or if that's creative's direction or what. The one thing that was very difficult for me to understand going into this based on the pre-match promos, I thought for sure, okay, we've got this settled, like Bailey's the face, Lyra's the heel. But then the way that Bailey addressed things and like, I'm going to stop her, and the way I was like, so wait a minute, is Bailey the heel now? Like, are they trying to like, are we trying to do a double turn here? Like, what is going on?
What
here?
in the Sam Hill is going on?
So as it turns out, like apparently Lyra is still the heel and Bailey was the face. Of course, I don't know how much of a face, Bailey is after just basically shattering Lyra's nose early in the match.
Dude. The blood on the mat after that. Someone got potatoed.
I literally said that in my living room, like, oh my God, she potatoed her. Especially when they showed the replay. I'm like, jeez.
Oh my God.
I mean, and the fact that like they for quite a while in the match, like it was jarring to the flow of the match, and you can tell the crowd kind of was like, are they going to stop this thing? Like there was a weird vibe for a little while because they had to find ways for, like, at one point Bailey literally, she had a direct path to Lyra and went out of her way to run into the referee to slow her down. Yeah. Like almost like, hold me back, trying to give Lyra time to get herself together. Like, because I think at that point they actually had a med person on the side of the ring treating her as like Bailey's trying to get at her and the ref's holding her back, and at one point like the ref literally shoving a towel in Lyra's face, and like they were it was janky for a little while trying to get
Yeah.
the bleeding under control. And I think them establishing like, are we gonna have to stop this thing? Like, is her schnoz that broken that we have to worry about this? That being said, holy hell, kudos to Lyra, man, for seeing this thing through. I mean, that is badass that she, and this match was actually really good. Like once they kind of got back into it, oh man, it was actually, if anything, like Bailey was the one who felt like she was about a step behind, you know, which,
yeah,
I mean, she's been around forever. It's like, hey, you know,
I will
you're
say the
wrestling
result
someone like
of
10, 15 years younger. Like, of course you're going to seem a little slower.
the result of this match, though, has a lot of speculation going now that Bailey's, because she's not her contract's about to run out and she's not renewing, and so there's a lot of speculation she's basically going the route of Ricochet, where she's getting her ass kicked pretty much in every match on her way out the door, and then she'll be in AEW with her good friend Mercedes Moné. So,
I mean, it might happen, and if it does, I mean, good for her making the money.
yeah.
I think I like Bailey. I like her story. I like
crappy music, crappy presentation. I think that could be improved.
Oh yeah. That's been. I don't know.
But man, this heel turn for Lyra is huge for her because I think this is going to be what she needs.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, she is like when they started talking about her, and I think Becky had mentioned it, and I think a couple other people had mentioned like that she is the future of women's wrestling. Like you can kind of see it, and you could see in the ring, and she had a couple of off matches, and that seemed to take away some of the confidence there. And it's like she's really freaking good. She just needs something that she can latch onto that will take her over the hump. And I think ditching the silly wings and getting a heel turn and getting a bit of a change in character, I think that might be just what she needs here. And then just let her go. Because, I mean, under really tough circumstances here, she had one hell of a match. And, you know, I mean, yeah, Bailey is a solid hand, and she's, you know, one of the best. I mean, I love me some Bailey, man. I love her story. I love her work ethic. I don't think that many people work harder than her. Like, she works her ass off. In, you know, you see the workouts that she does, the shape she's in, the way she seems to add little wrinkles to her matches, you know, even at this point in her career where she could kind of coast. But at the same time, like, how much longer do you have at this level, you know, and how much longer are you going to continue to have the same matches? And you've got a new crop of women coming up, and eventually, you know, folks have got to leave in order for those folks to get moved up the ladder. And it sucks, but you know what? On the bright side, she'll probably get a butt ton of money from Tony Khan, or she'll re-up with WWE and she'll continue to further her legacy. Who knows? But if she does move on, that sucks, but that's the business, folks. Like, that was the business decades ago with the territories. It was the business back when it was WWF and WCW. That's the way this works. So if this was her final match, or one of her final matches, damn good way to go out. Damn good way to go out.
She's going out the way you go out, which is putting over the talent that's staying behind. So
yeah, she did a great job making Lyra look good.
Oh, she did. Yeah, no, I thought the match was really good. I thought there was great, you know, intensity in the match. I thought Lyra, all that was going through my head throughout this match is this is exactly, I think, what Lyra needs. I think she's, you know, there's certain people who you try to make them a baby face out of the gate. You know, this happened, and again, I'm not trying to say she's The Rock, but this is what happened to Rocky, you know, when he was Rocky Maivia. The fans just could not connect with her. And I'm not saying she was a bad baby face, but she was just a very vanilla, by the, you know, color by the numbers sort of baby face. And it was just kind of like, okay, she comes out, she does her woo, woo, and then whatever happens in the match. But there was just there was something missing from her, and now in this version of her, it's like there's this great edge to her. I think there could be some really interesting stories that could happen, if creative has their collective crap together, with her. And so I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm happy to see that they are giving her these. I don't want to say giving her these wins, but creative is positioning her in this way so that she is viewed as a viable threat. That she is.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing that happens is when you try to like establish like this new heel character and they keep losing, because it's just like, well, then what the hell is going on? And if this is really the swan song for Bayley, then so be it. My heart doesn't break. I mean, it is what it is. She's had her run. Would I have loved to see the 4, horsewomen of NXT, get together at some point to have a run of some kind? Yes, that would have been awesome, but probably not going to happen. So if this is it for her, then, so be it. And so, no, I thought this match was exactly what it needed to be. I think, I don't think this is like when Nia Jax popped off on Becky and, Becky Lynch and kind of helped, solidify her as the man. But I think the fact that Lyra got nailed and pushed through the match and, had the bloody face and everything, I think it just adds another level to this heel character now, where she is just this, relentless, character. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they book her moving forward, the stories and the, the interplay that happens with whoever she goes up against, because I think it's going to be really good and really interesting.
I think so. I'm kind of using the Bleacher Report kind of rundown as a guide here, just to remind myself of the matches, because I didn't take any notes of my own. And one of the takeaways they have here, I would agree with, and I think this plays into what they have to do going forward with Lyra to break a cycle. It says, for the most part, if you are a heel in the women's division, the choices are apparently only Mean Girl, Crazed Menace, or a mixture of both. That is where the creative effort ends. This is where, if you're going to go this direction with Lyra, I think you need to start adding in some psychology. There needs to be some reason why she snapped, why she's broken in this way, and then start building on it. Like, it has to change. Like, it's okay that, maybe she's at this point now, but use the fact that she came out in different ring gear. Don't just have her wearing that same schleppy, torn up shirt. Like, now she's building. She took out her menace. She took out her nemesis. Okay, now let's start seeing her. Let's see some different sides of this. Let's see the actual psychology of why this is, and see it play out as maybe she starts gaining confidence, and she's like, maybe still a little crazed, but there's more of an edge that is calculating. You know what I mean? Like, make her a legit threat in a way that nobody really knows what she's going to do. Like, not in a, oh my gosh, she's crazy. It's like, no, she's kind of crazy, but she's also like Heath Ledger Joker crazy. Like, also seems to know what she's doing, sort of thing, and one step ahead of people. That would be cool. Which then brings us to the main event of the evening, somewhat, because it wasn't the last thing on the show.
It should have just been, because
they very specifically said that
on your bathroom break. I was watching this, and I'm just like, okay, awful. I'm good with Punk and Rhodes. The show ended at that point. Let's not even talk about it.
Yeah, when I remember after they went, and then they started the whole thing of Jalen Brunson going to the ring. And I literally kept on looking up from the TV, and I'm like, he's still.
There's only so much New York self-adulation I can take. You know what I mean?
It was like 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes, and then I was like, I'm done. Click. And he hadn't even gotten to Gorilla at that point. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't need any. I don't care what happens at this point. I will read about it later. This is too much. So we get to the main event, and then nothing happened after that. Do you hear me? Nothing happened. We have CM Punk and Cody Rhodes going against Gunther, the Ring General, and Sami Zayn.
General, the Ring General.
Someone didn't get the memo to Lillian Garcia, because she was no. Again, that's another nice touch, like bringing Lillian in for the Saturday Night's main event. I love that.
Uh-huh.
I just remember back, Attitude Era and all that, and it's sort of like a nice throwback. Oh boy, here we go, the fracking belt. All right.
All this talk about Jalen Brunson holding the belt, and I'm just like, you know what?
If anything, you ought to have the Winged Eagle belt, because that's the belt that we're talking about in this.
Oh, excuse me for a moment.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, excuse me while I whip this out. So we have backstage
Indeed.
before the match. We have Cody and Punk, and they're kind of chit-chatting, and they're friends, they're frenemies, it's a healthy rivalry. Who's going to go first? And all of a sudden Cody's music starts playing and Cody goes out first. All that stuff.
Punk's like, hey, the champ goes out second.
So we finally, I got to admit, like, as soon as the intros started, I had a couple things that I had to do to, I had some little house chores to take care of. So I was doing all of that, and I got back and I'm like, oh, just in time for Sammy's intro. Oh my gosh. This was actually a pretty good match. I really enjoyed this.
I like the intensity out of the gate. I mean, the fact that Sammy gets up on the top turnbuckle to do his normal shtick, and Punk goes over, and the two of them just start brawling with each other, and then you got Gunther and Rhodes brawling with each other, and it's like, damn, this feels this feels like a like that to me had more juice than the women's tag match had.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's more history too. I mean, when you think about it, it's like there is
which
history,
is what we talked about, right?
In all four corners, and you can draw lines to each of these participants in some way, which is cool,
Very much.
Which is why, like, going into SummerSlam, I'm like, okay, yeah, this could work out any number of ways, as long as we can. And even after SummerSlam, like, you can legit just keep these four people orbiting around each other for another couple months. Now it looks like Gunther is going to get peeled off in another direction, but I think it'll eventually lead back to the group. I mean, man, like, I don't remember exact moves, but there was a lot of good wrestling here. Good kind of cooperation between Cody and Punk. Like, they actually worked really well as a team.
Yep.
And I did appreciate, like, the double submission when we've got the Anaconda Vice locked in on Sammy,
and the
figure four on Gunther, which I was like, that's kind of cool, because actually didn't Dusty at times use a figure four? Because he started,
I think so, yeah, just to kind of throw it back at Flair. Yep.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool seeing that. And then a great way of getting out of it, like by Gunther going after Punk instead of going after Cody. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. We had the ref bump, of course, all of the shenanigans happening. And then, of course, we get another ref down, and then we're going to get a pin, but Nick Aldis pulls Gunther out. He pulled out Gunther. Which I'm like, where the hell did all this come from? And where has he been? Because he wasn't in Albany, because Adam Pearce was running the show on Friday. Like, that was kind of odd. So yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely heading to, I mean, we've got to be heading to a Nick Aldis Gunther match at SummerSlam.
I have been reading, it is pretty much a foregone conclusion that Nick Aldis versus Gunther is happening at SummerSlam. So
now, would that mean,
I think that's a really cool thing, because, Nick Aldis is mostly, most of his career was with TNA, and then after that he did quite a bit to kind of bring back some prestige and importance to the NWA Championship, which was also not heavily televised at that time. So I think it's really cool that he's getting this opportunity, not just to be on SummerSlam, but to be at SummerSlam with someone of Gunther's stature, where and you can kind of tell from with him wearing the suit, like, he's kept himself in pretty good shape. You know what I mean?
Unless he's wearing a girdle underneath that thing, that dude cuts an imposing figure. Like, I mean, and I just happened to I don't know why I noticed, but when Adam Pearce was walking to the ring on Friday night, because I watched a bunch of SmackDown. I don't think I caught all of it, but I was like, Scrap Daddy been, indulging in catering quite a bit. Like, he's not as slim and trim as Aldis.
If you see Scrap Daddy's like past pictures of when he was wrestling, I don't know that a strong physique was his forte. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, he was.
Now, Nick Aldis, on the other hand, though, that man kept himself up. So
Yeah, like I think Adam Pearce was much closer to Gunter when he used to be Walter. Let's put it that way.
yes,
And he's only gotten more so. And
Yeah.
and you know what? Good for him. Like he's probably at a point where like I ain't planning on having another match. Nick, you keep working out.
I think
done
Adam
running the
Pearce
rope.
was trying to make the single strap singlet like fashionable again, and it didn't quite work. You know what I mean? So
You have to be
kind
of
of
a
look like a
certain
caveman wearing that thing.
well, you have to be of a certain size. Like that was Andre's thing.
Yeah.
That was Big Show's thing. Like you
Yes.
have to be one of those larger dudes to pull that off.
Yep.
When you're not, then it's just like you got like one boob hanging out, and that's just not a good look. Not a good look.
Nope.
Nope. But no, I mean, and so we managed to get a pin on for the team of Punk and Rhodes. So we preserve the one-on-one nature of the SummerSlam main event,
And
which I liked.
Can I just say, by the way, that was done so well with all this, where first
Yes.
he pulls the ref out.
Mhm.
So this wasn't like, one of the Tongans coming in and missing their cue to pull the referee out. Like all this executed that beautifully. And then the next part of it, him picking up the belt and then just turning and just that little look over his shoulder. And then he just clocks Gunther. And it was just perfect the way he did it. And then Punk with the GTS and it's over. That was phenomenal. I'm just like that. There is heat on this match. And the way the crowd popped for Aldis too was like really cool. Like very cool to see him get that. And, as someone, where he's someone who doesn't have a WWE history, really, it's like, I enjoy seeing, the fans get invested in folks like that. And the fact that he's going to get this opportunity now, it's just like awesome. So I'm excited for this match. I'm excited what they're going to do. I'm hoping it's, this is one case where it would be great to see Gunther get some comeuppance for being the arrogant individual that he is, but maybe this is again to kind of put some heat on him by having him beat him. Who knows?
Now, hang on a second here. How old is Nick Aldis?
I'm gonna guess and say 43.
Nick Aldis is 39 years old.
Okay, I was off by a little bit. But hey, you know what? It's like my prediction about Punk. It's dead on, slightly different circumstances.
Dead on, except that it's wrong. Which in a post-truth world that we live in, what the hell?
Uncle Todd, sir.
So
I call him like I see him.
Michael, then you better get glasses because you ain't seeing them for shit. So this raises a question because Nick Aldis has done a very good job of holding down the GM position on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And if he has this match with Gunther, he's 39.
Mm-hmm.
Like he obviously is thinking like I could have one more match. Is this like Nick Aldis might come back to active competition? Or
I don't think so. No.
But then also like how does this affect him being a GM? Because you have a GM actively interfering in the show. So is this a way that Nick Aldis is working his way out of the on-screen GM picture? And if so, who's up next?
It's possible, but if I was booking it, I would want this to be a one-time thing. That this is a case of the GM has been pushed too far by and Gunther has carried himself as an entitled individual who feels he's deserved whatever based on, the fact that he's beaten certain individuals. And so I think, from a storyline perspective, I think it'd be great to bring him back for a match. I don't know, I don't know that I want to see Nick Aldis as a regular competitor though. You know what I mean? And it's no shade on him. It's just more, I think he and Adam Pearce have done a phenomenal job. I mean, I forgot this, but Nick Aldis showed up in 2023. So he's been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's done it very well. Both of them have, and I say very well because neither of them have done the typical shtick where within a year it becomes obvious they're going to come back and wrestle. Kurt Angle was a GM for a while and then he was wrestling within less than 12 months of having taken on that role. They've done a very good job of keeping them just in their roles as authority figures,
and not like maniacal
Right.
mustache twisting,
Absolutely.
baddies, or like they've been
Absolutely.
fairly neutral
Yes.
and just
Very
had this
neutral for
role of
most of it.
like of kind of being the go between, which is
So I'm
really
kind of I'm kind of hoping this is a one-off to just give him an opportunity, but it's a one-time thing and he goes back to being the GM. If he becomes a full-time competitor, I don't know. I hope they have something of depth and note for him to be doing, like a storyline for him to be participating in. Otherwise, I fear he's going to just fall off the radar and then be gone. So
Yeah.
that's my biggest fear. I think he's done a phenomenal job in that GM role. Keep him in the GM role. This is just a one-off, anomaly that's happening because there's a overly zealous competitor like Gunther that's pushed him. Let him have the match. That's where I think it'd be great for him to win, and just be done with it. But I don't know. We will see where it goes from here. I just don't see him being a regular competitor though, because even though he is the age that he is, I don't know what his history is. I don't know why they brought him in at 36, years of age to have him for 3 years just be a GM character and not wrestle. It feels like that's wasting his prime. Maybe there's more to it than that. And this is, if they're doing a one-off to just have him have a moment at a major, WWE PLE, great. Give him that, let him have that, have him go back to being a GM. Beyond that, I just hope they have a story in place for him to do something of note.
What I think is interesting is because of course now it seems like Nick has been put on, some kind of leave, and you would think that in a way like he would be on leave as the GM certainly after this past Saturday in kayfabe, of course. What becomes interesting, are we going to continue to have Adam Pearce pull double duty like he did in Albany?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we get an interim GM?
Mm-hmm.
In which case, I've got one of my killer ideas.
Oh God, here we go.
By
the way, we're at an hour and 45 and we have another episode to record here, sir. So,
why are we starting as late as we did? Exactly.
Okay.
And so my idea here is you have Adam Pearce come out, we can even do this on Monday just to give people a heads up, or you can wait till Friday, because we've got two Fridays, 2 SmackDowns before SummerSlam, and then you could make a case that you need a couple weeks afterwards to kind of settle whatever dust has happened and to rehab Nick to, okay, we'll put you back in as the GM. In the meantime, well, we need somebody who has experience. We need somebody who, knows the business, who can step right in. And most of all, we need someone that we can trust and that especially our chief content officer can trust. Ladies and gentlemen, your new SmackDown interim GM, Stephanie McMahon. She was hosting Saturday Night's Main Event, and people still love Steph. They love her some Steph. If she's willing to make 3-4 Friday nights, that could be kind of interesting. That would be a very different vibe, especially then if you have her interacting with Nick Aldis in some way, shape, or form. That could be kind of interesting, especially if Steph, digs deep and goes to that heel Stephanie place. That could be kind of cool. She could start out as kind of the nice den mother, sort of okay, I'm just here for a little while. Let's just make sure everyone plays nicely. And then just getting pushed to that edge. And all of a sudden it's the $1 billion princess comes out one more time. And it's oh, I forgot who I'm dealing with. Sorry. That sort of thing. That could be kind of cool. It's probably not going to happen, but man, I would dig it if it did.
I would dig it too.
I mean, you don't watch SmackDown, but still.
I don't.
I barely watch, which only makes me marginally better.
Yeah, I know. I really want to, but it's just, there's things going on in life where you just have to direct your attention.
If you surf with the sharks, you can watch it on Netflix at your leisure.
Fair enough. Overall, though, I agree with you. Great tag match. I thought they did a great job building up, juice into just this rivalry between these four. I like afterwards. I like the whole. I mean, it's goofy, but it was effective. Where Punk, kind of throws the belt over his shoulder and hits
Oh my
Cody in the
gosh.
eye. I thought that was great. And
That had to have been intentional, right? I mean, had
oh
to have been.
God, yes. I mean
Okay.
that was as intentional as Hogan putting his hand on Elizabeth's ass, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? It's just like
Was?
it was. I'm telling
Oh.
you, man. For
Shocked.
the benefit of those with flash photography. You know what I mean? But
Lust in your eyes.
lust in your eyes. No, I think. I
Do you ever
really
think
hope
about it?
with
Macho
Punk,
Man was just like this close to doing spirit fingers when he was doing all of his things, like he's
sure.
jazz hands.
Yeah.
He's so close, so close.
I really hope for Punk and Rhodes that this is leading to a Rhodes heel turn. I think we're getting to a point where we need this for Rhodes because he has done a great job as a babyface. He needs something different. If he beats Punk at SummerSlam and continues to go on as a babyface champion, I think he's just getting stale, unfortunately. And I think it's just a byproduct of the times we live in. Like to go a 10-year run as a babyface star and champion is just not the way it goes. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's where he's going, but it's one of those things that I think his character just needs. He needs to go a route of being a bad guy. I would love it if he gets in cahoots with Heyman because that would play into the Punk history really well.
It would play into his history with Heyman.
Mr.
Heyman. I love how he always, and that's a new character for Heyman.
Indeed.
He's not the advocate. He's Mr. Heyman.
And for all intents and purposes, Lesnar is done as of SummerSlam, I believe. I mean, I think he is retiring in Minneapolis. He is done for good.
But he's already retired, so now he's retiring.
He's on double secret retirement at this point.
Nicely played, sir. Thank you. Deep cut.
Absolutely.
So here's the one fly in the ointment.
There's not a well-known codicil in the in the Faber handbook. It gives me the power to wield on double secret probation.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
But the one fly in the ointment in all of this, and I read this on, I believe, on Reddit, and it was one of the few that actually made a somewhat semblance of a point. The fact is, man, like Rhodes is still getting a huge pop.
Mm-hmm.
He's still getting a huge baby face pop. Now it isn't as big as it was, and people were getting a little stale on him, but not having the belt right now seems to have given a little bit of a juice, to what he was getting. He's still moving a ton of merch.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is all of that you're like, do we really want to undercut this? And I think the one, if Punk hadn't moved over from Raw to SmackDown, I would say they're not going to do it. They can't afford to do it. You don't have anyone on that side of the brand that can carry the torch of what Rhodes was doing. Well, now we have Punk there. Punk is aside from Rhodes, is probably the guy who's moving merch as well as and as has as much or more name recognition outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
And gets a ginormous pop as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like this actually does seem to me to be like, okay, if they don't turn Rhodes heel on Punk, I don't know when they're going to do it, because this is your perfect opportunity where you actually now have a guy who can stand up as the baby face against a heel Cody Rhodes, and you're not going to lose momentum. You're not going to have this giant sucking vacuum of a baby face black hole on your program. Like you've now set it up. So if they don't do it here, like, okay, we're never doing this. That's
and the reason I say it needs to be Rhodes is because I feel like from what I saw from Punk on the show, and again, he's playing it up this way, but he is playing that Hogan role very well. Like, not that he's, Hogan to Rhodes is savage.
Yes.
That I think he's, in the promo before the match, and even the promo that happened after the match when the two of them were clashing, when he calls him little brother, when he, he's kind of talking down to him a little bit because he is the elder statesman. I think there is going to be some interesting storytelling that can happen there around him saying things that are legitimately true, but can be twisted into condescending statements that fuel Rhodes's turn to the dark side a little bit. That he feels he needs this edge, that he needs to do this because, Punk is, this bane on professional wrestling and whatnot, and so I feel like everything is kind of moving in a direction of it being a Rhodes heel turn, because I think for Punk to turn heel, I mean, yes, he would be an excellent heel, no doubt, but we've seen it before, and I think for him to just be like, hey, I was just, tell me when I'm telling lies, right?
Well,
I mean, he's played that up over the last several years. I think it would be interesting for it to be that, unless the only way I see this working is if Punk does turn heel and Rhodes stays babyface, that Punk realigns with Heyman, and it's Rhodes chasing him all the way to WrestleMania to finally recapture the championship.
Again, the one fly in the ointment there. I admit, Punk it has been a very effective heel. I think the problem is he has entered into the John Cena, Randy Orton tier.
Yeah,
people don't want to boo.
Yeah,
they just don't, because Phil is kept himself in amazing shape, and obviously not doing any of this, and living clean and all of that has probably helped him a lot as well. But let's face it, he's not wrestling until he's in his 60s. Okay, he's quickly approaching 50. I think he's maybe a year and a half younger than the two of us. He is not going to wrestle that much longer. People do not want to boo him. They want to be able to, hell, I'm thinking about going and getting tickets to the house show in Manchester, New Hampshire, because I'm like, you know what? I don't know that I'm going to another WWE event. Punk is champ, and I kind of want to go to a house show where Punk is doing goofy stuff. I like the Charlotte Flair robe thing or whatever.
When is this house show?
I think it might be in August. I can't remember right now. But I'm thinking about getting I'm seriously mulling over the drive and the tickets and all that, because I'm like, I kind of want to go to that.
Yeah.
I don't
see him both as world heavyweight champion and as undisputed champion.
Yeah. I don't want to boo him. I want to go and give him his roses and all of that. That's what you do at this point in a person's career. Because even though he's not, definitively on his way out on his retirement tour or anything like that. How many more years do we really have left? I think that's the problem, is that even if you make him a heel, making him a heel dastardly enough that people are going to boo him, because there is a certain level of coolness to Punk. There just is, which is kind of funny because of the way he describes his upbringing, how uncool he was. So, but I don't think people want to boo him. I think it has to be Cody. And I think there's a lot more interesting story there as well. I think there would be a lot more interesting story of Cody being, the heel, where he could say, you know what? I left the other company. I helped build out of the company, and I left it in good shape. You got fired, and you had to come back here with your tail between your legs. He could start tearing on. There's a whole bunch of stuff he could say there and tear into Punk. There's plenty of material about how, now it's CM Punk is company man Punk. That's something on the internet. You can grab that right now. So many ways you can go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree.
I like it.
Make it so. All right, I think we've beaten this dead horse enough. Let's get to And Another Thing. And of course, you did most of your And Another Thing in the intro of the show. So what is it?
Paul Simon at Ravinia. We had a great time last night, Saturday night, watching and listening to Paul Simon perform
Mostly
with
listening.
his band. Sorry.
Mostly listening.
You know what? Just go pound sand. You know what I mean?
You
Just
have the
stop it.
binoculars, honey. You can
Just
almost see him.
stop it.
You can almost see him.
It was a concert. I listened. I enjoyed.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry. I put us right in the poison ivy by the tree line.
I have the set list in front of me. Graceland, Slip Sliding Away, Train in the Distance, Homeward Bound, The Late Great Johnny Ace, Father and Daughter, Under African Skies, The Cool Cool River, Rewrite, Spirit Voices, Mother and Child Reunion, Mrs. Robinson. This one I loved. Renee and Georgette Marguerite with their dog after the war. This guy wrote a song about a painting, which I thought was hysterical. I'm like, that is art to its fullest. Diamonds on the sole of her shoes, me and Julio down by the schoolyard, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, Something So Right, The Boxer, and to end the night, just the man himself singing The Sound of Silence. There you have it. Very, very complete and enjoyable set list right there, and we enjoyed ourselves, had a good night of music and revelry, and overall, I would highly recommend checking it out. And, if you're in Chicago or if you visit Chicago, if you can go up to Ravinia, it is a phenomenal venue to take in a concert. Great event. Only downside I kind of have with it is when we started going there, the entire lawn area was open to the general public.
Mm-hmm.
And now, as some businesses are, want to do, they have taken part of that area and sectioned it off for reserved lawn seats, which are more expensive, of course. So
Yeah.
I was a little upset because when we got in, I could kind of see that I think they've expanded the reserved lawn seats, to which I'm just kind of saying, you know what? Pull the damn trigger and just fence the whole damn thing off and just make it reserved lawn. I mean, just stop it. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's like this little layer.
Did you guys pay?
Yeah, so we pay for lawn tickets, but we don't do lawn reserved. And it's gotten to a point where there's like this big section of lawn that they've fenced probably what I would say 85% of it off to be lawn reserved, and there's this like 15% left that's just on the outer edge where where people just kind of jam in and sit. And it's like, to me, it's like just fence the whole damn that section. It's not the entire lawn area, but it's that one section. I'm just like, fence the whole damn thing off. The only reason you're not doing it is you're going to get plenty of people pissed off about it. That's probably why you're not doing it. But I just that'll be part of my rant when I finally get that.
Well, and the lesson here is pay for the actual lawn seats instead of like the forest seats that you got.
We did pay for the lawn seats. Where we sat was part of the lawn. But
you're back in the
You
woods.
have your opinion about it, which I don't appreciate, but that's okay.
You're 5 feet from you're 5 feet from the pucker brush and the friggin' poison ivy.
You know what? It's all about making a buffer around you so people cannot ruin your time.
And then you're speaking to the shrubs.
I successfully did that, so thank you very much.
I thought you were going to be like the Homer Simpson meme where you're like just dissolving into that.
What is your and another thing, sir?
My and another thing is the 1970 album by Louis Armstrong called Louis Armstrong and His Friends. This was actually the second to last recording session that the great Satchmo participated in. This was recorded back in the day when you recorded albums very quickly. This was recorded over 3 days in late May of 1970. Was released later that year. Louis Armstrong passed away July 6, 1971. So it was not that long after this, just over a year after this album was released, really, that he was gone. And he was not in great health. He did actually play zero trumpet on this. That was one of the kind of the sticking points of his later years in health, was that his doctors were telling him, like, playing trumpet is not good for you right now. You're not in good enough health. And he kept trying to do it. And, it just did not work out. So he did not play trumpet on this album at all. So it's basically him singing. However, I mean, dear God, when you're his friends, include Thad Jones. Let's see here who we got. Kenny Burrell on guitar, Chuck Rainey on bass, Bernard Purdy on drums, and then we have let's see here, we had Ornette Coleman, Tony Bennett. Just some guys you find off the street, among many other session players and other fantastic. Miles Davis is on this, of course. It's amazing, this album, because it was kind of intended to be time or to sound timely. So it's a very late 60s, early 70s kind of fusiony sort of thing where you're trying to get more electric instruments in. It's much more groove based. There's a bit more funk in the stuff. Overall, not probably, Armstrong's greatest work. However, I have such a soft spot for this version of What a Wonderful World, which, normally we all know the version of What a Wonderful World that was a big hit for Armstrong, and which actually, the funny thing is, Louis Armstrong, apparently he pronounced it Louis, but he would joke and say, like, all white people call me Louis, and so that's kind of what he went. Most friends called him Pops, which was actually turning a joke around on him because he could never remember anyone's name. So he would call people Pops. And so people started turning it back around on him and calling him Pops, which I guess worked out because then everyone could remember the name. But the version of What a Wonderful World on this, number one, it has this great spoken word intro. And it is a beautiful thing to hear him explain what a wonderful world means to him, because he's like, people look around the world and they see all this hunger and pain. He's like, how can you say what a wonderful world? He's like, what I'm trying to say is what a wonderful world it could be if we would all kind of care about each other. We would all love each other. We would do the things that we need to do to make it a wonderful world. And then you get into this version of it where it's this groove swing thing, man, that I heard it the first time and I was like, oh, this is amazing. How have I never heard this before? It's such a great version. Definitely listen to it just for that. But of course, there's also We Shall Overcome. He does a version of Give Peace a Chance, which is fan-friggin-tastic. And let's see here. Oh, this has the extended version. So there's a couple other tracks on the end of this. But yeah, a couple, then, there's a Duke Ellington track. We've got some other stuff that's, more leaning into traditional jazz. It's not like the finest work of the great Satchmo, but it is a great kind of time capsule of what he was trying to kind of do later in his career. So it's a fantastic album for a listen through. I think I might have to get this on vinyl because I do have great memories of digging this one out of the stacks at WUNH and discovering this and having my mind blown when I was just like, what? How? But and I was on mic at the time. And so it's a great album. Check it out. I'm linking to the Wikipedia page. Find it streaming if you want or whatever. I'm not linking to streaming services anymore because they all kind of suck. And I'm just I think I'm getting to the point. I'm very close to just getting off of most streaming services and just trying to buy physical media again, because it's kind of getting infuriating where stuff gets shuffled around or edited. Like I started watching Moneyball the other day on what is it, on Netflix now or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you notice that they edited that movie? Did you notice they cut out like a couple of lines here, a couple of lines there? I did. I was like, wait a minute, what? There was another exchange of dialogue in that scene. Why do you cut that out? Like, you're not like that. 10 seconds of screen time or 20 seconds of screen time didn't save you that much money on your digital storage. It's flummoxing. It's aggravating. It is a shamockery, if you will. But in this case, go get yourself a copy of Louis Armstrong and His Friends. It's well worth your time.
Very nice.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for this week in Geek Wednesday. Thank you all for tuning in. You can go to our website to get all of our episodes. All of these links are in the show notes. You can find us on podcast purveyors everywhere. You can send any questions you have to Tim at freerangeidiocy.com. Sir, now as the head of this Week in Geek Wednesday, the absolute boss, the GM, if you will, of Week in Geek Wednesday, What do you have to say for yourself?
I have the following to say. You just slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. You don't need to be coy, Roy. Just get yourself free. Hop on the bus, Gus. You don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key, Lee, and get yourself free.
You're messing with my Zen thing, man.
Now get the hell out of here!